Hey guys, okay, so you probably guessed by the title that this isn't necessarily going to be a haul or a sale video. I know I have to do a sale video and I will do one later. Right now, not in the mood. It's been a really sort of high-low week for me. Starting from Sunday to now. Uh, well, I'll start from Sunday. Sunday, went to a boot sale. Um, Picked up a few items as you would have seen if you watched, I think, my last or second to last video. And I picked up it was a video recorder, and it was a JVC remote control manual, the works. Needed a bit of a clean up, but it's not too bad. And get it home, check it out, power on fine, check all the remote fine, everything's looking great. Went to put a tape in, won't go in. So I'm assuming, let me just turn this down a bit. I'm assuming that it's the head mechanism that unfortunately is broke, so I'm going to get that fixed. Now I can get it fixed, but it's more cost, it's more issues. It's an old VCR. Now what makes this one worth repairing is when it sells for around 125 top end, 100 on average. So it's a decent pickup. I only paid a £5 for it. So it started off as like fantastic, picked up a really good item to it doesn't work. Okay. Now obviously I'm like a charity shop, which if something like that doesn't work, I'll take it back. This is a boot sale, so no chance of that really. So that was not a great start to the week. I did pick up a big track there for a £5, which I sold for 25, I believe. I think it was 25 or 29, 25, I think. So that was pretty good, but the VCR really annoyed me. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Doesn't matter. The next stage was I just went listing mad, listing. But I don't really have enough like top end items, £20 plus items. They're all quite lowball, and so I've been selling a lot of them. I sold like 30 to 40 items across the week, but what I made was pennies in comparison to how many I sold. So I need to look for items that have a bigger value. So that kind of also sort of brought me down this week, to be honest, because I'm like, I've got all this stuff. None of it is really going to make a good amount of money. It will sell, it will make money, but peanuts really. So so I've been clearing a lot of that out. I donated the other day. I donated like a couple of bags of stuff that just never sold, or was so low value, or was dropped in value since I've had it. So I just donated that stuff to the charity shop. And while I was in there, I found a DVD called I don't know how you pronounce it. It's like Sarlo, or it's like an accent over the L. But it's basically 120 Days of Sodom from Criterion Collection. This DVD can sell for 140. Well, it's listed for 140 quid on Amazon, and it has sold for £69 and £82. That was auction on eBay. That was eBay USA. So I paid £1.50 for it. It is genuine. It is pretty much mint condition. So I was over the moon. I thought I would list that. I'll list it for however much, and I'll get that. However, once again, here comes the low. However, I posted it in the Facebook group, and Chris Gotts, who I'm sure you all know. If you don't know him, check him out. Really good guy, genuine guy, fantastic reseller, and does so many good videos. He pointed out that because it doesn't have a certification, it's illegal for me to sell that in the UK. So I'm like, oh man, it's like another blow there. This my two biggest items of the week. Can't really sell at this moment in time. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Not a problem. It happens in reselling. I'd rather have the items than not. So at least I might be able to do something with it, or a private sale. I don't know what the actual law is. I don't know if I can't sell it at all or what, but I'll have a look. So I'm like, you know what? The week can't really get much worse. I spoke too soon because a couple of issues. One personal, one reselling related. In one single day. Now, let me explain something first. Actually, recently I got all my items back from Amazon FBA, and it cost me like £34 total. I thought it was like £22, but somebody pointed out. I believe his name is Paul in the Facebook group. He pointed out that there's also tax to be added onto the figure, so I thought it was like 22. Turned out to be like 34, or I thought it was 24. It turned out to be 32. One of those figures, but that's fine. You know, I get that. I get that. Sorry, I've just had a message. You know, so that's fine. I get that. That's no worries. But they all came back, and I thought, because they're not really selling on FBA, I'll just shove them on eBay. And I've sold a couple of items already that sat on eBay for a long while. Sat on Amazon for a while. That was my fault. The rank wasn't very good. Maybe my pricing was off as well. I'm not blaming Amazon FBA for the non-sales on those. It's for me to do my research on that. And maybe they weren't as good sellers as I was expecting. But anyway, so I got all that stuff back, and I listed like mad on eBay. Got all those items on eBay. Anything that isn't really worth much at all, I either donated or I'll just bundle up on eBay. But anyway, what happened was, in a single day, I got 3 refund requests via eBay. And I'm like, oh, man. The one was a Game Boy I sold. It was fully working, but it just, it just didn't arrive working. Now, I've got an issue because it's Hermes, and they don't really cover electronics. I'm trying anyway because not only was it not working, but the side of the case was cracked. She sent me a video of her like using it with brand new batteries and everything, and even the mains wasn't working, like the charge pack wasn't working. She showed me the serial numbers, so because I took note of the serial numbers, she showed me them, and she's got good feedback, 100% positive. I have no reason to really doubt her. But that was a blow, because what ended up doing is, this was confusing as well. And eBay, contacted eBay, and they were no help at all. They just basically pushed me to one side, even when I had a real go at the person, which I don't normally do, but it just got so much in my head this week. What happened was, she messaged me, she said, obviously she's not happy, it's damaged. What am I going to do about it? Now, it's the usual angry tone at first, because let's be honest, with online, you always assume there's going to be a problem. You always assume that the seller's going to come up with some legal excuse to not refund you or whatever, or make it hard for you. But I'm not like that. If there's an issue, I'll refund them. It's not an issue, like a big issue normally. But I said to her, obviously it was working when I sold it. There's no way I would have sold a non-working machine. I tested that thoroughly. It's a Game Boy. I loved Game Boys. I tested every game, tested all the functions. It was beautiful condition. But so I said, obviously it's happened in transit. I can only apologise. I would never send you a dodgy item. I said, because my eBay account, means too much to me to sell dodgy items. And she really calmed down, and she was okay about it. She said, well, look, she said, I really like the games. I really like the magnifying glass and the charge pack and the case and the manuals. Is there any way that maybe we could do a partial refund? And I could just have the accessories and I'll send you back the Game Boy. So I'm like, you know what, at this point, yeah, because I can't do anything with the Game Boy now, it's broke. I can't do anything. And once again, before anybody suggests, it wasn't a box, okay, it was in a nice sturdy box, but she did say that the box had been crushed on one side, And I've noticed this a couple of times now. I've had crushed, like proper good boxes crushed. And I can only imagine that maybe when they put it in, they also like throw on like a heavy bag and it crushes it, which is weird because obviously Hermes usually delivering their own vehicles, their own cars. So it's not like a massive van that gets stuff thrown in, but maybe it's at the warehouse. I don't know. But either way, I'm going off topic here or subject. Either way, she agreed on a partial refund of 20 quid, I think it was. So I'm like, brilliant, not a problem. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I said, I'll send you back £20 of the 45 you paid. Okay. I'll send that back to you. Don't worry about returning the item, because she was like, oh, well, what about the return? I said, don't worry about the return. Just discard it. Put it in the bin. Whatever you want to do, get it mended. Whatever you want to do with that Game Boy is yours. Throw it in the bin. I don't care. So she was like, oh, okay. That's really nice of you. Thanks very much. So I said, not a problem. I'll do your refund now. So I was just as I clicked refund her £20, PayPal sent it to her. Suddenly I got a message from eBay saying, oh, the user has opened up a return case. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't need to return the item. I've already told you to throw the fucking thing in the bin. Just bin it. So I messaged her. I said, oh, you don't need to do the return. Just put it in the bin. Oh, okay then. 24 hours later, still that return case is there. So I'm like, what the hell? So I messaged her again. Could you please close the return case? You don't need to do the return. And she messaged me back, well, I will when you refund me. So I'm like, what? I refunded you last night. I don't get what your problem is. I refunded you last night. So she's like, well, I haven't got it. I'm like, oh, come on, man. It's showing is gone in my paper. Oh, well, I haven't got it. You may need to send it again. So I'm like, you know what? No. Now, as I say, she had good feedback. There was no reason for me to think she was scamming or anything like that. I contacted eBay this morning. So I said, right, got a bit of a problem. Faulty item. We agreed on a partial refund, which I did last night. She then opened up a return case. I told her not to worry about the return, just throw it in the bin because it's broke. And they messaged me with, oh, okay, well that's nice of you, sir. What do you want us to do? So I said, well, the return case is open, and the problem is it's counting down the dates, and it says that if this return case isn't closed by the 8th, eBay will automatically refund her the other $24.99 for the full refund. And I said, that's not what we agreed on. We agreed on a partial £20. Why is eBay wanting to send her the other $24.99? And she, well, I assume it was a woman. It was a woman's name, but you never really know who's on the end of them. And this was live chat, by the way. And she said, oh yeah, I can see that you've agreed on a partial. Are you sure you paid her? I said, yep, here's the transaction ID from PayPal. So she went off and checked that. She went, okay, yep, I can see you've refunded. I can see that you agreed on a partial. Have you tried asking her to close the case? I said, yep, 3 times. Feel free to read my messages. Because eBay can do that. They can check the message to and from between 2 buyers. Two users. So I said, right. So you know all the details. You know she wanted a partial. You know that I paid her that partial. You know that I've asked her to close the return case because I don't need it. She's even agreed in message that a return is not needed. Like before that, when I said, oh, don't worry about returning, she went, oh, okay, great, thanks. That's good. I said, but she isn't closing it. And the problem that I have is if it's not closed, you're going to take more money from me, which then I have to appeal to get back. And if she hasn't got it in her account, then there's not really much I can do. I mean, PayPal may cover it, I don't know, but so she went, oh, well, ask again. So I'm like, I've asked 3 times, man, or 2 or 3 times. So they're like, well, what you do then, if you wait for the 8 days, the money will come out of your account. I'm like, I said, why is it going to get to that point? I said, you have all the evidence needed to just close that case for me. She is okay with it being closed. She's just wondering where the payment is. I sent her the transaction ID and said, look, there's your payment. So after, basically eBay was no help at all, and I did have a little bit of a pop at the woman. I said, look, with all due respect, you're basically allowing this to happen when you know it shouldn't. And why? Because you're going to protect the buyer rather than the seller, as usual. And she sent me this. Oh no, we don't prioritize buyers and sellers. I said, of course you do. Stop cutting and pasting the company line and speak to me like a human being. I said, because you know you do. You always cover buyers and you leave us sellers to rot sometimes, even when you know full well what's going on. So I closed that chat because she was no help. And I then got a message from the buyer saying, oh, the payment says pending. It doesn't say I have it, it says pending. Now from my end it's gone, that money's gone. So what was happening was, because she opened up a return case, why I have no idea, but because she opened that up, eBay was waiting for me to refund the rest of the money before it allowed the funds. So she said, look, if I close the refund, the return case, will my funds then get released? So I'm like, I assume so. I said, why you open the return case is beyond me anyway. We had already agreed. So yeah, that was kind of annoying, and it got to me so much because I wouldn't have had to have dealt with any of this if I was doing Amazon. And I came away from Amazon because of fees and because of less control over your stock and stuff. But to be honest, sometimes that's a good thing. So, you know, I was really looking forward to doing eBay, but I've had nothing but trouble since I've upped my stock levels, upped my selling. I've had nothing but issues with eBay themselves and with returns, and well, not returns, but yeah, well, the other ones were apart from the Game Boy, there was a Transformers helmet that was damaged in transit. So once again, Hermes might class that as an electronic item, as it's microphone and it makes sounds. So I don't know about that. So I had to refund that, which was £10. £20 on the Game Boy, or 20 or 25 actually. I really can't remember now. 20 or 25. I think it might have been 25 actually. Yeah. Excuse me. And there was also Super Mario like surprise eggs that were just crushed. That was the other case of it being crushed. That was a while ago. But there was also another one on a t-shirt return because it didn't fit the guy. He said, oh, it's no good, it doesn't fit me, it's only a large and I'm extra large. And I said, but you bought a large, it says large, it says it on the description, there's a picture of the label saying large, and it's in the description and the title. Large. What made you think it was extra large? So yeah, so that was a return. I had to refund him. I'm still waiting for that shirt back. So, but yeah, so it's been a nightmare of highs and lows this week on eBay. It really is. And I'm thinking more and more of just going into FBA after this, because I've recently just stopped doing it, but it's less hassle. Don't have to worry about, you know, with parcel firms and stuff. It's just, you know, UPS come pick up a box, done. If that box goes missing, then obviously that's a different matter. That's all your stock. But it's very rare. UPS are, you know, massive and company. They're a decent company. I'm sure there's some sort of compensation level that they give you if that sort of box goes missing, especially as Amazon deal with it. Not everything sells in Amazon. Well, I mean, I say not everything sells. You could clear stock on Amazon quite easily just by lowering it to like, I don't know, £5 or something. Even if you just break even, at least it gets rid of the stock. Or of course, if it's not selling at all, you just pay them 20 pence and they'll destroy it for you. So yeah, so I'm thinking more and more of just going into retail arbitrage, just going around, scan, send it up. It's not as fun. and the items that you buy on is interesting, but it's just less hassle, man. And this week has just been nothing but hassle for me. But also, what's affected me as well is there's a personal issue this week. A friend of mine lost a family member recently, and she's over in Canada. Healthcare and stuff is a bit different in Canada, but what was happening is they sort of helped her pay some meds, and she had to pay, top it up with her own money. And it was her grandma that died. Her grandma used to help her out with it, and just had a sudden stroke, and unfortunately didn't make it. But yes, I kind of need to help her out to try and get her meds. I have 7 days to come up with like £200 cash. And unfortunately, like most of us, we don't tend to have that much cash laying around. It's all in stock. So I've just basically been like trying to sell like crazy. I've got so much listed. I'm selling a few personal items to try and help cover the cost of that. So yeah, it's I have a box going up to Music Magpie of over 200 DVDs. They're going to give me about £105. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it in time. With the box going up to them, then receiving the box and then paying out, I don't know if I'm going to get it before the weekend. It's close, you know. I don't really have, unless I make some like crazy sales, it's not really going to happen. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange week, really. I have a bag of Lego that it didn't even sell for a tenner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like try and maybe sell them by parts, sell them by colours, because I have some of that like tan or beige. Is it, Caroline? Yeah, I have a lot of like the beigey type looks and wheels and stuff. So yeah, I might just list those. I have like a little bubble section and stuff, and even if they go for a few pound each, if they're quite quick sellers, then great, you know. But we'll see. I don't know. So yeah, that's my week really. Not the best week I've had for a while, but yeah, I'll get there. It's just we'll go through terrible weeks, and I very rarely post "oh, my week's been bad" type of videos, because I don't like to give a negative view of the business, because it's not. It's a great business to be in, but just having a bit of a hard time with it at the moment. Yeah, made a few sales over the weekend, like 60-70 quid worth of sales, I think. One of them was actually to a fellow reseller. I won't say his name. I don't know if he watches my videos. If you want to mention it, you can. But I sold a jacket, the Everlast jacket, to him, and I believe he's gonna like hold it and sell it in the summer for 3 times what he paid me. But I just need to get rid of it quick, because I just need to raise some cash. So yeah, so that's that. I'm going to stop here. It's like 25 minutes and you don't want to hear me moaning any longer. So thanks for watching. Sorry it's not more of an upbeat video. The next one that'll be a sales video, and I'll discuss everything from where my last sales video left off to probably today, or yeah, probably today. So yeah, cheers. Thanks for watching. Speak to you later.